Hello everyone, my name's Laeticia Sevin and welcome to the International Opportunities Podcast. This series will give you an insight into our students' first-hand experiences abroad, whether that be a study exchange or work placement. From Fiji to Canada, our students have done amazing things abroad and we want to showcase that to all of you. If you're thinking about going abroad for your studies or for work, then this series will hopefully give you some inspiration, tips and advice. Today we have wildlife conservation student Liv Richardson in the studio. Do you want to introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a wildlife conservation with zoo biology student and I'm just on my placement year. I'm about to start third year in September.
Brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit about your placement in Thailand? Because you've just got back from Thailand, haven't you?
Yeah, oh, it was so good. Yes, so the place where I volunteered at is called Wildlife Friends Foundation. It's about 2 to 3 hours south from Bangkok and it's kind of split into two. So you've got the wildlife centre where you look after like some bears, monkeys, so like macaques, gibbons, langurs, reptiles and birds. And then you've got the other side which is the elephant refuge. So they look after 24 elephants there. All female except for one, which is this big male called KK. And yes, so I kind of did both on there, so I did 3 weeks at the wildlife centre and then 9 weeks in the elephant refuge.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Who was your favourite elephant?
Has to be Namchok. She arrived about a week after we did, so we both kind of started our journey in Wildlife Friends Foundation together, and we saw her arrive on the truck. They were all trumpeting, which is a sign of like excitement. And she was like flapping her ears, waggling her tail, which again is a sign of like excitement and happiness.
That's so cute.
And I was like nearly crying.
I bet.
And we did one of her first walks with her first feeds, and it was just a magical moment.
I bet you got attached to them though. I wouldn't want to leave them.
Especially with Namchok. She's my absolute favourite and I love her so much.
Oh, bless her. Now, what motivated you to pursue a work placement abroad and what made you choose Thailand?
I've always wanted to go to Thailand ever since I was about 16. Like the thought of travelling around, especially like Asia and around there, was something that did really speak to me.
Yeah.
So then when looking for placements, I saw a previous student who did the placement at Wildlife Friends Foundation.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, why not travel and do my work placement at the same time?
Exactly. It's great doing a work placement, but doing it abroad is a whole different caliber, isn't it?
Yeah.
You really get great experience from doing it. And what skills were you looking to develop from doing the placement?
Definitely the more animal husbandry care side. I haven't really had any hands-on experience dealing with animals before. Like I volunteered at an RSPCA cat shelter before, so I think that's pretty much the most experience I've had. But when I saw that they had the elephants there and that's the animal that I want to work with, I thought I could gain as most experience as possible.
What were your expectations before you went to Thailand and how did the actual experience compare?
I was really nervous going abroad because I have dyslexia. I struggle with reading and understanding like instructions and stuff. And then especially going to a country where English isn't the first language and Thai isn't the easiest language to understand. I was kind of expecting me to struggle a lot, but because I had my two friends there with me, they were kind of the translator for us, so I was kind of expecting to struggle but not, but overall I didn't, which was quite surprising. And especially from like being away from home for so long, I was kind of expecting to be like homesick. I was at first, but then after you get used to it, kind of, I don't want to say I forgot, but you kind of live in the moment of being there and you're like, oh, I haven't rang my mum in like a week. Maybe I should ring her.
You end up so busy though, and time flies when you're abroad though, doesn't it?
Like, I feel like I've blinked and it was like 3 seconds, never mind 3 months, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm on the flight back home. Like, oh no.
It's so sad, isn't it, when you get the flight home? Like,
literally. But for like the job itself, I was kind of expecting it to not be as hands-on as we were, because I know in the UK especially the laws around category A dangerous animals, so an elephant is classed as one of them.
Really?
You're not allowed to go into the enclosures with them.
Oh, no way.
Just because they are potentially so dangerous. Thailand,
no.
Straight in there. you have the mahouts there. So the mahouts are the people who look after the elephants. So they're like on like a 1-to-1 basis with them. They're always in the enclosure with you, but you are like picking up the poo and the leftover food, and the elephant is just there. So with that part, I wasn't expecting to be that up close and personal with them, and it was just amazing that we were.
That's so cool. And when did you go and when did you get back?
So we went in the first week of September, and then we came back about the first week of December.
Nice.
But we did travel around a little bit, so we went down to Phuket as well. I thought, we're over there, we may as well travel around a little bit.
You've got to make the most, definitely.
But then we spent the 12 weeks fully at the Wildlife Friends Foundation.
Perfect. And how did you find the work placement overall?
If I could do it again, I would. You would. Honestly, like I said, it goes so fast. And when new volunteers were coming in, I was kind of letting them like do the walks because I was there for so long. You kind of just, it's just walking an elephant, and it's crazy to think that I was just like, oh yeah, it's just walking an elephant today. It's fine.
What was your favourite memory or experience?
I think definitely walking the elephants. Yeah. Like, even though it's I'm just walking an elephant, it's such a surreal moment where, because you have to walk with like a bucket of fruit in front of you, and then you feed them, and then you walk, and that's how they kind of follow you.
I want to do that.
It was so good. And you kind of you kind of do have to take a step back and be like, I'm in Thailand and I'm walking an elephant. Yeah. And this is like such a surreal moment.
It makes you feel weird, doesn't it? When you actually think like, oh my gosh, I'm in a different continent right now. How did I get here?
Literally. And it's absolutely crazy. But like outside of work, there's like a little village, about a 10-minute walk. And I'd always go to this one woman, to this one stall, and she'd sell these strawberry sodas. It's like strawberry syrup with the like soda water, and I went there so many times. She would just go the usual to me, and I kind of create like a little bond with her, and she was so lovely. She was so sweet, and
makes you feel part of the community though when you go into a shop and they remember you. Yeah. There was a little coffee shop next to me when I did my study abroad, and they ended up knowing me by the end of it, and I'd come in like, the usual. You're like, yes, I live here now.
It's just so sweet. But another thing that I just wanted to mention, and I think kind of like with the culture shock, it's not a favourite memory of mine, but it's definitely in there. But for my second week, I got stung by a scorpion in my thigh.
Whoa.
I was carrying a crate going to feed the langurs, and I put the crate next to my thigh when I was walking, and I felt like a pinch or like a sting, and I was like, what is that? Growing up, I always got told scorpions, you're lethal. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead.
That's what I thought in my head. I'm like, how are you here right now?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep calm. I went to the volunteer coordinator, and I was like, I've just been stung by this little guy here. There's like a little sand-coloured one. Oh, wow. All thoughts going in my head. I'm like, I'm going to have to call my mum.
Oh my God, bless
This is it. And then I was like, am I going to die? And they're all laughing at me. And I'm like, that's a valid question. And about 30 minutes later, it was like going all down my leg, and I was like, that's it. Like, am I gonna? Woke up the next morning, like nothing happened.
What? Did they send you to hospital or anything?
No, because they weren't deadly or anything. It's just more like a warning sting, and they're not like poisonous.
No way. I honestly thought you would be goners if you...
That's what I thought. So it's not my favourite memory, but it's a memory that is definitely going to stick with me.
A core memory. Yeah. What would you say was your biggest achievement whilst you're on the placement?
Definitely my confidence being built. Like, I would have never have said yes to this. I recently did a talk with my placement that I'm doing now at Sea Life, and I went to talk to the marine biology students with someone from Sea Life. I'd never stand up in a class full of people. I just wouldn't have done that. But I guess when you are put in a situation where you do have to talk and you do have to communicate with everyone and be social, it does just kind of come out natural, and I definitely think my confidence has really gone up because of this placement. Do
you feel like since you've got back, you've just gone and done things that you would never thought you would do and speak to people?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I never would have done this before. And like even at work, I know it's not to do with uni or anything, but I would never be confrontational at work, or if I'm always like a yes man, whereas now I'm like, if I don't agree with it, I'll say I don't agree with it. In a way.
It does give you so much confidence though. I feel like since I've got back, I've just wanted to speak to people more, and like
literally,
you just feel more confident in social situations, especially because when you first get there, you've met with like loads of different people and you just have to try and make conversation and find connections with people. It's so cool. What were some challenges that you faced whilst you were there, and how did you overcome them?
I think definitely the language barrier. The mahouts there did speak English, but it was broken English, and with my dyslexia, I really struggle with accents. Yeah, and I'm kind of do have to listen a lot closer and a lot more. And my brain kind of doesn't process on what, even with like English speaking, I'm still like, you kind of have to like slow down a little bit for me. But I say that would be probably the biggest challenge, and especially because I do have quite a strong accent as well. Me slowing down and pronouncing my words so it's easy for them to understand me as well. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge there.
You don't realise you have an accent until you actually go abroad.
Literally. And like I was speaking to my friend because she lives up in Burnley as well, and she's got a stronger accent than me, so when we're talking together, they're like, what are you guys saying?
It goes stronger when you're with somebody from the same place.
I was like, what are you guys saying? And then when we talk to other people who aren't from the UK, that's when we consciously slow down and try and make it easy for them to understand us. I'd say that would be the biggest challenge.
I feel like I came back with an RP accent, like just trying for everyone to understand me. So how did you meet people, and did you face any difficulties when you were finding friends or fitting in?
I think everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's either there as either solo or in like a couple or a group, and everyone's kind of in the same boat. You're all of similar ages. Everyone's nervous, everyone, and you're kind of there because you want to work with the animals. You all have similar interests. Yeah. So I think with making friends, I wouldn't say that I didn't have a hard time.
Yay, that's good.
Because I've got like good friends in Germany, Belgium that I'm still in contact with, and still like around the UK. I've got a girl up in Sweden that I still talk to.
That's so cool. Lots of holiday destinations then.
Literally. And because I find it really cheesy when people are like, oh, you'll make friends for life, you know, but you do.
You really do.
Like, you do, and you do get talking to people, and it's just, and I like it. At meal times and everything, and like you're in the big communal areas, everyone's like crammed together, so you do talk to people. So I wouldn't say I had a hard time like talking, because I can talk forever and I will talk for England.
Love that.
Talk to everyone.
So who did you live with when you were there? Did you do a house share or?
So we lived on the reserve, so they have volunteer huts. I went with 2 other students, so I went with my friend and another student who is now probably one of my closest friends.
Oh, no way.
Living 3 months together,
yeah,
you quickly become friends.
Yes.
So we were really lucky that we had our own private hut with a private bathroom, because most people had to either have the communal showers. So we were very lucky to have just a 3-bedroom hut with our own bathroom.
Oh, that's so good.
So it was the 3 of us.
Bro, and what key skills and life lessons do you think you've taken away from Thailand?
I think definitely being able to learn and work at the same time, with collecting like field data, because I had to do a project there, so I did it on the macaques. So having to be in that rural area and being able to like collect data that I'll be able to use like in my future career, I think that's definitely the skills that I can use. For life lessons, I definitely think just to be patient and to enjoy every single second, because it goes so fast.
It really does.
And you kind of, like, I don't know about you, but I kind of live like, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing there? And not to like kind of restructure your mind of don't think about then, just think about now. And
exactly.
And I think that's definitely one of the life lessons I've learned over there.
being fully present when you're there is so important, because it's easy to get like in your own head when you're studying abroad or doing a work placement abroad. You just feel like you get right in your head sometimes, so it's good to just be present and be like, right, I'm only here for a short time, got to make the most of it.
Just enjoy it.
Exactly. And how has completing a placement overseas contributed to your academic and professional growth? Do you think it's helped you with future work placements? And
yeah, with the knowledge and the experience that, especially working with dangerous animals, you do quickly learn how to not like act around them, but to act around them really, and to kind of always not let your guard down, because at the end of the day they are wild animals, especially with the monkeys. They will grab you if you are standing too close and look away. They will pull your hair, they will grab you or scratch you. So kind of you always have to be on the ball. And I think that is really important, especially when working either with wild animals or captive animals, because at the end of the day they are still wild. And I think using that experience that I'll be able to use in my future.
Do you feel like having this on your CV now has opened up a lot more opportunities for you as well?
Definitely, yeah. I think because elephants is like what I want to work with. And then having that experience, even though it was only 9 weeks, that's 9 weeks more than if someone else didn't have it. And I just think it's so like important that I don't know what was going on about that, but yeah.
So what advice would you give to students that are considering going abroad for a work placement?
Just do it. 100%. I can't even begin to describe to you, and just do it. Like, it's probably the most eye-opening and most privileged thing I've ever done, and I'm so grateful that I even had the opportunity to go over. I think some advice that I would say is start saving up as soon as possible, because it is expensive. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It does depend where you go, but for Thailand, from where I went, it is expensive. I know this isn't going in here, but I do have a breakdown of everything.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Yeah, on the next one, I'll ask you a bit more about the financing. Perfect.
And I'd say because I booked it about a year in advance. Just because I'm an absolute control freak.
You were prepared.
And I need to know that I've got it. And it kind of gives you motivation because you needed to pass second year to do your placement year. So I think that is one of my main motivations, is I've booked it now. I can't fail because I'll lose all the money. That's not the main reason why I wanted to pass second year, but it was definitely a factor. One thing that I would suggest putting in your suitcase if you do go to like tropical places, mosquito nets. You will get eaten alive at night if you do not have a mosquito net. So that is probably my main advice, is to save up and get a mosquito net.
Do they like clip to the ceiling or something?
Yeah, so they had like hooks that you could hook onto, and it just kind of drapes down. But my friend didn't have one, and her legs were just eaten up, and it was... And then luckily I got friendly with this older lady that was there, because like people of all ages, like there was an 80-year-old that was volunteering there, like to an 18-year-old, and it was crazy. So I got talking to a lady from Australia, and she left a lot of stuff. So she left her mosquito net, so I was like, I've already got one.
Oh, bless her.
Like, you can have this.
So how did you budget and manage your finance whilst you were abroad? Do you have any hints or tips?
Yes, so I saved about £5,000. I didn't use it all, but overall the cost for everything was about £4,000.
Okay.
So the flight was about £1,000, and I flew with Emirates. You could go cheaper, but I really wanted to fly with Emirates, so I flew with them.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm going to splash, I'm going to splurge.
Oh, yes.
And then the hotels cost about £200 on either side, so that's when I travelled around. And the accommodation, because most times with placements, you have to pay them to live there. So I did in Thailand, so I had to pay about £2,000, but that covers meals, accommodation, internet, Wi-Fi, water, so it covers everything. And then that money goes back into the charity that you're
That's really good.
So that was about £2,000. I think out of everything except for flights and accommodations, vaccinations were the biggest thing. about £500 for all the vaccinations.
They're really expensive.
But they're so important that you do have them, like the rabies one. I had a few from that you can get from like mosquitoes.
Like malaria.
Yeah. I had malaria tablets as well, just in case.
Yeah.
And then like with the spending money, I'd budgeted about £500. I don't think I spent over £300 over there because it's so cheap.
It is cheap in Thailand, isn't it? I've heard that.
Yeah, and because you only get 1 day off a week, you do try and go out as much as possible, but because you're either tired or like you don't kind of want to adventure out, you don't really spend the money. Yeah. But I think I spent most money down when I was in Phuket for 3 days. Yeah. And that's the majority of the money that I spent there. But like I said, all the food and the drinks were all free.
It's an easier way of life there as well. It's not like as... Well, there's a lot of capitalism in England, isn't there? It's always like spend money. You step out the house and you spend about 50 quid. Yeah. Whereas there, it's a lot more easygoing, I suppose. What did you get up to on your days off? Were there any activities?
Yeah, so we're about an hour from Hua Hin, so that's like the major city close to Wildlife Friends, and there's like a giant like a shopping mall. So I got my lashes done, I got my nails done, trying to feel a little bit girly, as you are, covered in poo and food all the time. I kind of needed something. Like they have the beaches there, so we went to the beach a few times. I love the beach, so I was always opting to go to the beach. I think the most money that we spent going out was probably on the taxis going there. So they have like on-site taxis, but Hua Hin's about an hour and a half drive, so it is quite away for them. So I understand that the taxis are quite expensive. But when you're out there, you're spending like 100 baht, and that's like £2.
Really?
And that's like nothing.
That's so good. I'm going to go there now. Oh, well, brilliant. Oh, thank you so much for coming in today and talking to me about everything. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, if you listeners want to find out more about study exchanges or work placements, then please visit the Student Hub International Opportunities page. There you can find out about our drop-in sessions, application processes and partnerships. I'll see you in next week's episode, where we'll be hearing from more of our amazing students about their overseas placements. Please like, share and subscribe to this podcast so you can hear more, and we can spread the word about our international opportunities. We'll see you next time.